Sorry. Erev Tov, everyone. This week's parshiot provides us with a stark contrast that existed within Klal Yisrael at the time of Moshe Rabbeinu, and perhaps still exists throughout Jewish history and into our days as well, regarding Eretz Yisrael. The Torah tells us that the Bnei Gad and Bnei Ruvain, so that's over 110,000 people between the age of 20 and 60, they came to Moshe and they said, we have Mikne Rav, we have a lot of cattle. Our interests, our financial interests are such that we don't want to go to Eretz Yisrael. And they say a fateful posuk, Al Tavireinu es hayarden. Don't make us cross the Yarden. The Torah describes the negotiations that Moshe has with them, Moshe's original anger at them, and then the compromise that they arrive at. And even there, the Torah emphasizes that they put their financial considerations ahead of their families. They said, Gidros Zon Nivne, we're going to build sheepcotes, storage sheds, the Orim L'Tapenu, and then we'll build fortified cities to protect our families. And Moshe's response to them was the opposite. First build defenses for your families, then we'll worry about the Gidros Zone. But the Ribono Shalom Kaviyachol tells Moshe it's not worth the fight. Moshe could have told him no. The Gorel Techolek Oretz, we're going to divide the land according to the lots, and you'll participate. Whatever your territory comes out, that's what you'll have. But the Ribono Shalom tells him to compromise with the Bnei Gad and Bnei Ruvain. And that's what happens. And they make a commitment that they fulfill. The Chalutzim Navor, where we're going to be the shock troops, we'll be the first ones across, and we won't settle in Ever Yarden until all the other tribes have settled west of the Yarden. The Medrash tells us, and we see in Tanakh, that the Bnei Gad and Bnei Ruvain went into exile before any of the other tribes, even before the time of the exile of the 10 tribes. And that their kingdom, so to speak, in Ever Yarden did not stand the test of time. The Gemara itself discusses which halachas are pertinent in Ever Yarden and which are not. Now, how shall we treat Ever Yarden? Does it have a kedusha? If so, what kind of kedusha? And that remains even till today. When it comes to Shemitah, there are many shitas that hold that there is no Shemitah that's no aid in Ever Hayarden. So that's one attitude. The second attitude is reflected in the tribe of Menashe, the descendants of Yosef Hatzadik, by the Beno Slavchad, and later by their tribe. In last week's parsha, we read that the daughters of Slavchad came to Moshe Rabbeinu and they said, Loma Nigora, how can it be that we should have a share in Eretz Yisrael just because we're women? Avinu meis bamidbar, uvanim lo hoyulo. But we are 5 women, where is descendants? This triggers the whole halachic discussion about Yerusha, about inheritance, which has undergone many changes over the centuries. From the Torah, if we took it literally, then a daughter cannot inherit as long as there are sons that are alive to inherit. However, there's a concept called takonos abonos, which was enforced from medieval times onward, that gave women the right to inherit, to share in the inheritance with their male brothers. And that's still enforced today. There are many ways that it's used. If you want to hear a very good shiur on takonos abonos, you want to hear a very good shiur, period. So Rabbi Weiss has a shiur on it that explains the entire legal system through all the tshuvas till our time. But they said, even from the Torah, we're entitled. Because Bonim Lahoyulo, he didn't have any male descendants. If there are no male descendants, then the female descendants inherit. So where's our share in Eretz Yisrael? And Moshe brings their case, so to speak, before the heavenly tribunal. And the Bnei Shalom says, "Kein beno slov chodovros, no son titen lem nachla b'toch achi avia." They're entitled. And they're entitled to the share that Slavchad would have had, that Slavchad lived and not died in the desert. So they want Eretz Yisrael. These 5 women, they want it. And they said, Loma Nigora, how can it be that we don't have a share? And in this week's parsha, their Shevet says, we don't want to lose that the Shevet should have less land in Eretz Yisrael because they'll marry males that are outside of the tribe. And the Rebbe Shalom gives them an option. They can marry anybody they want. But I give you an Eitzah Tova, they should marry within the tribe. So they marry within the tribe, nobody will have complaints, and the Nachala will go to the Shevet Menashe that's entitled to it. So here you have 5 people that want Eretz Yisrael. And there you had 110,000 people that didn't want it. And that's an issue. The Gemara seems to indicate that every Jew has or should have a chelik in Eretz Yisrael, whether that's meant literally. Everybody should buy an apartment in Diskin, or whether that's meant figuratively. But I remember, for instance, just personal. So when my wife and I purchased on our apartment in Eretz Yisrael, so my father-in-law was Litvish Sharov, came to me and he gave me a check. And he said, I'm buying one of the bedrooms. It's my share. I said to him, Pa, you don't have to give what kind of check? I'm not going to cash it. Sure you have. No, it has to be legal, he said. I have to have a share in Eretz Yisrael. So there were people that felt like that. There are people that feel like the Bnei Gad Bnei Reuven. There are people that feel less than the Bnei Gad Bnei Reuven. Bnei Gad Bnei Reuven are at least good Zionists. They're willing to fight for the country. They're willing to give their money. Okay, we're not going to live there, but, we're part of it. But there are those that say that we're not part of it at all. It has nothing to do with us. It's what Reform said in Germany. We're Germans of the Mosaic persuasion. And that's always the issue. That's the issue throughout the Jewish world today. How do you identify yourself? What's important to you? What do you care about? What are you willing to sacrifice for? So the Torah, which always is timeless, eternity. So the Torah phrases it for us in this week's parsha. It gives us the two contrasting views, the two contrasting modes of behavior. On one hand, Loma Nigora, on the other hand, Al Tavirenu Sayard. And all the words that are written in the Torah are eternal. So they have a life of their own. And we see that they have survived till our time in different fashion, in different circumstances. But the basic issue of the relationship there to Israel still remains the same. And that's an important idea that we should have in mind and attempt to transmit to others as well. Rabbi Hanania ben Akash Omer Ratzah HaKadosh Baruch Hu V'Zakos Yisrael V'Tzicha Chibah Lahem Torah Mitzvos Shenemar Adonai Chavetz Man Tzidko Yagil Torah